So, what if I told you that the script for our world right now, with the huge wealth gaps and the kind of manipulative AI, was actually written almost 100 years ago? Today, we're diving into a really fascinating claim from a source video that a silent film from 1927 called Metropolis wasn't just sci-fi, but a shockingly accurate prediction of our reality. Okay, let's get into it.
And there it is. This is the big, bold claim at the very heart of the source material. The video is basically saying that Metropolis is way more than just an old movie. It's a blueprint for the financial and tech problems we're all grappling with right now. The idea is that the director somehow saw our future, a full century before it even happened.
So you might be asking, where did this crazy vision even come from? Well, the film was made by a German director, Fritz Lang, back in the 1920s. And this part is absolutely crucial, because he was living through the Weimar Republic, a time of just devastating hyperinflation, where he literally watched his country's currency become worthless. The source we're digging into argues he wasn't just making a wild guess about the future. He was showing what he saw as the final stage of a fiat currency collapse. That's money that's backed by a government promise, not by something real like gold.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. Look at how the source draws these direct one-to-one parallels. It says the giant tower in the film, that represents today's central banks. The manipulative robot, that's a stand-in for modern AI and deepfakes. And the oppressed workers in the film, they're the financially struggling folks of today. This is basically the whole framework for the prophecy theory.
All right, so let's actually break down the evidence the video gives us for this theory. We're going to look at three main themes from the movie that the source claims are playing out in real time, right now: economic inequality, surveillance and control, and information warfare.
And this slide just perfectly captures that first parallel. The movie opens with this incredibly stark division. You have the elite thinkers living up top in a literal paradise, while way down below, the hands are basically just cogs in a machine, marching around like zombies. The source argues this isn't just social commentary. It's a visual metaphor for a very specific economic principle.
And that principle is called the Cantillon effect. It's named after an economist from way back in the 1700s. But the idea is pretty simple. When new money gets created, it's not like everyone gets a piece at the same time. The people closest to the so-called money printer, the banks, the giant corporations, they get it first. And they get to spend it before prices have a chance to go up. Everyone else, we just get the inflation.
The source makes this super easy to understand with a great analogy. Just picture money as a river flowing down from a mountain. The people at the very top, near the source, like those elites in the film's tower, they get all the fresh, clean water they could ever want. But by the time that water flows all the way downstream to the rest of us, well, it's just a muddy, devalued trickle. And that right there is inflation.
So this economic divide leads directly to the next parallel: total control. The entire city of Metropolis is dominated by this one massive tower. And at the very top sits one guy, Joe Fredersen, who is the ultimate central planner. He basically believes the whole system is way too complicated for the hands to ever understand, so he has to control everything, for their own good.
And the video argues this is the exact model that central banks are going after today. To keep that kind of power, the source claims you need total surveillance. It points to things like the development of central bank digital currencies, which is basically a digital dollar controlled directly by the government, and new tax laws as proof of a modern digital panopticon, a one-way glass house where they can see everything we do, but we can't see a thing they're doing.
Okay, now we get to the really wild part of this whole prediction. So the workers in the film start to rally around this peaceful leader named Maria. She educates them, she preaches patience. The ruler, Fredersen, he sees her as a huge threat. So what does he do? He gets a scientist to build a robot, an artificial intelligence that looks exactly like her. And the difference between the two Marias is, well, it's everything. The real Maria is all about peace. She tells the workers to be patient and wait for a mediator to bridge the gap. But the robot Maria, she's programmed for one thing and one thing only: chaos. She distracts the elites with entertainment and then goes down to the workers and whips them into a frenzy to riot and destroy the very machines that they need to survive.
So here's the kicker. The source argues that the robot Maria is already here. It's the social media algorithms that feed us endless distractions and dopamine hits on one side and then turn around and feed us rage bait on the other. It's the AI and the deepfakes that are designed to make us angry and scared. The whole argument is that as long as we, the hands, are busy fighting each other over politics or culture,
We'll never even notice the real class war that's being waged from the top of the tower.
So, according to the video, Fritz Lang nailed the inequality, the surveillance, and even the AI manipulation. But there's one thing it claims he never could have seen coming: a decentralized tool that offers a way out of the very system he was warning us about.
The film's own solution is, well, it's pretty idealistic. It ends with this idea that the heart has to be the mediator between the head, the thinkers, and the hands, the workers. And in the movie, this heart is a person, the ruler's son, who brings both sides together with empathy. But the source we're looking at, it completely rejects this idea. It argues that any person, any single human being, can be corrupted. In the modern version of this story, the video claims, the true mediator can't be a person. It has to be an incorruptible protocol. It has to be math. And for the source, that incorruptible math is Bitcoin. A system, it says, is governed by code, not by people who can be bought or influenced. And this leads us to the ultimate strategy that the video proposes. It's not about fighting the tower or smashing the machines. It's about a peaceful exit. It's about building a parallel system that just makes the old one obsolete.
The source lays out this really specific three-step plan for what it calls a sovereign exit. First, it suggests using alternative financial platforms to replace our reliance on traditional banks. Second, taking full ownership or self-custody of your own digital assets using hardware wallets, which are basically like a physical safe for your crypto. And third, using new tools to build wealth completely outside of the traditional or legacy financial system.
So where does all this leave us? Well, the video claims we're not just speeding toward one single future. Instead, we're standing at a crossroads with three very different paths in front of us.
The first path is basically the full Metropolis dystopia coming to life. In this scenario, cash is gone, central bank digital currencies are rolled out everywhere, and a fully monitored and controlled digital prison is created. The robot of control wins.
The second path isn't tyranny, it's just chaos. The source makes a good point that our global financial system is built on some incredibly fragile tech. So what happens if a solar flare, a massive cyber attack, or even just a simple AI glitch brings the whole thing crashing down? The result is just entropy. The machine simply breaks.
And then there's the third scenario, which is the one the source is advocating for. It's not some violent revolution, it's a peaceful evolution. People just choose to opt out. They build a parallel economy, and by doing that, they starve the tower of its power by making its monopoly on money completely irrelevant.
And ultimately, that's where the video leaves us. It argues that Fritz Lang gave us this powerful warning, but he didn't write the ending for us. The script for our story, well, it isn't finished yet. And the final provocative question it leaves us all with is, who gets to write it?